Happy Monday, Alton. A very warm welcome to our first whole school virtual assembly. So we had a discussion last week, some of the people who are in school, and we felt that it was still very important to meet regularly and to discuss some of the things which are happening in the world and to give you time just to reflect on some of those things. So normally, in more normal times, we would have a Monday assembly where we would all meet in a hall and a member of staff, so myself, Miss Cooper, or one of the teachers would go through maybe a topic, and we'd talk about something that was happening in the world or a festival or a special event, and give you that opportunity to discuss that with your friends and just to think about it a little bit more. And that is a really important thing because it gives us that time together, but it also helps you to widen your horizons and just to learn about different things which happen in the world, because the world is a very big place. And at the minute we can be quite focused on what's happening immediately in our local area and the restrictions which we currently live under. But obviously there's still a lot of things which are happening in the world. That's why we felt that it was important still to have that opportunity to highlight those things for you and for you to reflect on them and to learn a little bit more. So this is the aim of today. So normally in assembly, we would obviously have you sat in your classes, and throughout the presentation, we might say, right, just spend a minute, just talk to your partner, answer this question, what do you think? That's a little bit tricky because we're not sat in the hall and we're not sat in our classes. So if you are at home and you've got your brother or your sister or your mum or your dad or whoever is looking after you, then if we have a question, which we do have today, you could take a minute or so and just talk to your brother, sister, or your grown-up about the question. So I'm not asking you to write anything down. If you want to, of course, you are more than welcome to, but it's just that the main aim is just for you to have a think. So this assembly hopefully will be suitable for all of the children in school, but obviously for younger children, you might just have to adapt it slightly. And then obviously if you're in year 6, we're looking for you to maybe have a bit of a deeper think about some of the questions and to try and come up with some really detailed answers. So obviously there's hopefully something for everybody, but the older you are, just try and add a little bit more detail to what you think about a topic. Is that okay? So I'm going to share my screen with you, and today we are thinking about what makes a good leader. So I have got this picture here for you to have a look at. So I want you just to take a couple of moments just to have a look at it, see if you can identify any of the people in that photo. What do you think is happening here? What gives you that clue? So you might want to just pause the video and have a bit longer just to have a think and a discussion with whoever's in your house. Once you've done that, come back to us and we'll have a look at it together. Okay, so did you manage to have a good look at our photo? So my first impression of this photo is that there are lots of smartly dressed people. And it looks like quite an official sort of event. So an official event is something that is quite important. So I can see here that there's this gentleman here, and he's stood at what's called a lectern. And he looks like he's giving a speech, so I can see some microphones, and I can see what I think is the American flag here. And on the front of this gentleman's lectern, it says office of the President-elect. So that sounds like quite an important job. And then I can also see this lady here, and she seems to be listening to the gentleman's speech. And I know a little bit more about that lady, so we're going to talk about that lady very shortly. So if you don't already know, this is Joe Biden, and it does say it on the background here. So it says Joseph R. Biden Jr. So this is this gentleman's name. So Joe Biden is now the new president of the United States of America. So I'll read you a little bit of information about Joe Biden. So on the 20th of January, so last week, Joe Biden became the 46th president of the United States, taking over from his predecessor, Donald Trump. The inauguration ceremony took place last week, marking the start of the new president's time in charge. Usually the outgoing president attends to welcome in the next president, but this year Mr. Trump did not attend the event. In the oath taken at the ceremony, Joe Biden promised to the American people to do his best to protect the country and do a good job of being their leader. So this is the new president of the United States, Joe Biden. And like I said, this lady is very important. So this is Kamala Harris, and she is the new Vice President of the United States. And every president always has a vice president, but this vice president is very, very special. So Kamala is the first lady vice president, and she is also the first vice president from a Black and Asian background. So it is a very historic appointment to the post of vice president. So Kamala Harris will go down in history. Okay, so there is a lot of good news to celebrate there. So in America, though, there is still quite a bit of division. So some people are very happy that Joe Biden has become the next president, but there are still some of Donald Trump supporters who are very upset that Joe Biden has become the president, and they are upset that Donald Trump is no longer the president. So we're just going to move on, and I'm going to show you a quick video which gives you a little bit of information about who Joe Biden is.
Meet Joe Biden, or President Joe Biden, as we'll be calling him soon. He'll be the 46th President of the United States when he officially takes on the job in January. And at 78, he'll be the oldest person to ever take on the presidency too. But Biden's no stranger to American politics. He tried to run for president before in 1987 and 2007, but both times he didn't get the Democratic Party's nomination to allow him to run for the top job. Instead, he's been Vice President of the US, serving as the deputy for President Barack Obama between 2009 and 2017. During those 8 years, Biden was an influential advisor. He helped to stop a financial crisis and helped pass laws that increased gun control. In 2017, President Barack Obama surprised Joe Biden with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor, calling him the best vice president America has ever seen. In this election, Biden did get the Democratic Party's nomination to run for president, and he went head-to-head against the Republican Party's candidate and current president, Donald Trump. Biden said if he became the president, his priorities would be healthcare, controlling the coronavirus, looking after the economy, and fighting for racial equality. Being president of the US is one of the most influential jobs in the world, and after a long battle between him and Donald Trump, Joe Biden has got the job.
Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of information about who Joe Biden is. So like the video says, he was the Vice President of the United States when Barack Obama was the president. Okay, so let's find out a little bit more about what happened last week. So we have got a picture here of Donald Trump, who was the 45th president, and now he has been replaced by Joe Biden, who is the 46th president. So Joe Biden has succeeded Donald Trump as the 46th president of the United States. Donald Trump was president between 2017 and 2021. So the great gift is the ability to forget the bad things and focus on the good. And that is what Joe Biden said during his speech when he became president. So Joe Biden became president on what is called Inauguration Day. So what is Inauguration Day? So Inauguration Day happens here at this big building. This is the Capitol building. And this is the American equivalent of our Parliament. So we have got the Houses of Parliament, which has the House of Lords and the Commons. And this is similar. So it's got the House of Representatives and the Senate. And that is where the ceremony takes place. And then you may have seen this very grand building here. This is called the White House, and this is where the president lives and works. So it's the equivalent of 10 Downing Street, and that's where our Prime Minister lives and works. So in the United States, Inauguration Day is the day the person elected to be the president officially becomes president. It takes place every 4 years on the 20th of January. The day begins with a worship service attended by the president-elect and is followed by the swearing-in ceremony for the president and vice president. The new president then gives a speech known as the inaugural address. After a special lunch in the Capitol, there is a parade which is led by the president and vice president as they are driven to the White House. So they are driven, but this year, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did walk a bit of a way down to the White House. Okay, so I have got some questions out, and this isn't specifically about the American leaders, but thinking about leaders. So Joe Biden is now the leader of the United States of America, but leaders come in all different areas of life. So I'm a leader because I lead school. So it's my job to successfully lead school and to make sure that school is the best place that it can be. But there are lots of different jobs which require people to be leaders, but also to be a leader, you don't need to have it as a job. Some people are said to be natural leaders. So there's lots of different areas of life where people are really good leaders. So can you think of any other types of leaders? So have a discussion with whoever is in your house about what other types of leaders you can think about. So these could be at school, they could be in clubs, or they could be other areas of your life. So if you want to pause the video and have that discussion, please do, and then come back once you've had that discussion. Okay, so did you manage to think of any other types of leaders? So I'm not going to give you a really long list, but I'll just give you a few examples, sort of which hopefully you'll be able to relate to. So when I think about leaders and I think about different jobs, you might have people who are police officers who are quite senior police officers. So people who maybe hold the rank of a chief inspector or a superintendent. They lead a large number of police officers, and they obviously work hard to keep our community safe. If I'm thinking about a leader in a club, I know lots of you maybe do football or rugby training. So your coach is the leader of your team. They lead you, and hopefully they lead you to success and to victory in whatever game you choose to play. And when I think about a leader in school, obviously you've got the teachers who are leaders, but some children in our school are leaders. So we have got our sports leaders. So some children choose to join our sports club, where they get a special hoodie, and their job is to go and be leaders and help other children. But we've also got a school council. So you could say that they are leaders in their own right as well, that they are elected by you to try and put your views forward. They lead your views and put it forward to myself and Miss Cooper and the governors to try and make school a better place for you. So we have got leaders, and they all come in different shapes and sizes and different forms. Okay, so there are different qualities that make a good leader. So I think you could probably think of some qualities that wouldn't be very good for a leader to have if they weren't very good for listening, for example, or they weren't open to people's ideas. That might be something that didn't make a very good leader. But there must be lots of things that a leader must be able to do to get them best from their team or from the area that they lead. So have a think about what a good leader will need to do, or the qualities a leader will need to have to make them a good leader. So do you think it's important that a leader is well liked, or do you think it is more important that they are good at leading? So again, pause the video, have a think, have a discussion, and then come back when you have finished that discussion. Okay, so the last question I'm going to pose for you today is, some people believe that you need to have lots of experience before you can be a leader. Do you agree? Okay, so have a think about that one, have a discussion. So do you need a lot of experience to be a good leader? Okay, we're going to just leave it there. So just on the last point about leaders, there are many qualities that make somebody a good leader, and hopefully you explored some of those qualities that you think make a good leader with the people in your house. True leaders aim to see the bigger picture. So they support, inspire, and care about others, ensuring that collectively they are helping to improve things for all. So I think the main part from that is when it talks about leaders see the big picture. So a leader is somebody that is at the front. They're there and they are doing something, and they try and inspire you to follow them. So you will never find a good leader at the back. A leader is somebody who's at the front, who leads by example. So in school or in our wider lives, we could all be good leaders. Even if you don't feel very confident, just by doing the right thing, you can lead by example, you can show people the way, and you might not realize, but people will see you setting a good example and they will follow and they will choose to do the right thing too. So we have all got this, the power and the skill to be good leaders. You just need to have that confidence and belief in yourself that you can do it. Okay, so as we draw our assembly to a close, I just want to say a big well done again for all of your effort home learning. And like I said last time, I know it is a big challenge and it is very tricky. So it's tricky to obviously get into that routine of learning from home. And I know it is a really big challenge as well, because mums and dads might have their own jobs or their own meetings. And it is a big balancing act, but you are doing fantastically well. So hopefully year 5 and 6, you are getting to grips with Teams now. Year 3 and 4, you have started. Seems that I've had a little look this morning, and there I can see some of you have already started to engage with the assignments on Teams. So well done, year 3 and 4. It will get easier, and it means that the teachers will be able to give you even better feedback and more targeted feedback, and you can edit your work as well, which is something which is important, because it's all very well and good having some feedback, but if you don't act on it, then you're not going to learn. Acting on the feedback is what helps you to improve. So hopefully that more targeted feedback as we get more secure will help you to improve your work further. So keep working really hard. I have been looking at the year 1 and 2 emails as well, and I've also been looking at tapestry for reception and nursery. There is so much super work going on. So well done to everybody. Keep it up, keep working hard, and make the most of every lesson. Even if you find it really difficult, persevere and you will get there. Okay, Alton, have a lovely day home learning, and we will be in touch again soon. So if you need anything, you know where we are. We are always here to help and support. So don't be afraid to reach out. We are here for you. So have a lovely week, Alton. Goodbye.